Welcome back. The strained diplomatic relations between the United States and Iran following the killing of a top Iranian general by the U.S. military would likely affect Indonesia's national economic growth, as oil prices are bound to surge in the wake of the latest development. State-owned Enterprises Minister Erick Thohir said that although such an event was unpredictable, the country will do well to mitigate the repercussions as it concerned national economic stability. The U.S. announced that it had killed a top Iranian in a strike on Baghdad's international airport, in which the deputy chief of Iraq's powerful Hashid al-Shabi paramilitary force was also killed. AFP reported that the U.S. had launched another airstrike in Iraq. Erick said that the government had taken steps to anticipate a possible rise of oil prices amid the heated conflict between the U.S. and Iran. The government had, for example, focused on implementing the B30 biodiesel program. Another anticipatory measures would also entail purchasing oil directly from producers themselves without any intermediaries. The government is currently importing oil directly from French multinational oil and gas company Total, saving up to $6 per barrel. The heating up of U.S.-Iran relations has caused world oil prices to fluctuate again. Analysts assess that this condition will certainly affect Indonesia as an oil importer and will worsen the trade balance while widening the trade balance deficit. How important is the U.S. and Iran as Indonesia's trading partner? We can see it through the first graphic. The first data will be about Indonesia's trade performance with United States. As you can see in your TV screen, this is the U.S.-Indonesia trade balance from 2013 to 2017. The red one actually indicates the export performance of the U.S. export their goods and their services to Indonesia, and the yellow one indicates for the import that had been, conducted by U.S. from Indonesia. As you can see, the trend is showing the deficit trend between the export performance and the import performance of the U.S. and Indonesia. U.S. goods and services trade with Indonesia totaled an estimated $32.9 billion in 2018. Exports were $10.8 billion. Imports were $22 billion, and the U.S. goods and services trade deficit with Indonesia was $11.3 billion in 2018. The U.S. goods trade deficit with Indonesia was $12.7 billion in 2018. Trade in services with Indonesia, exports and imports totaled an estimated $3.9 billion in 2018. Services export were $2.6 billion. Services import were $1.2 billion. The U.S. services trade surplus with Indonesia was $1.4 billion in 2018. So how about the value of export performance from Indonesia to America? Let's see the next data. This is non-oil and gas export performance from Indonesia to U.S. in 2019. And as you can see, the numbers was quite fluctuative. January, $1.5 billion. February, $1.3 billion. March, $1.4 billion. And June, $1.1 billion. This one is taken from Indonesia Statistic Central Agency. And the top import categories from Indonesia to United States in 2018 were knit apparel, woven apparel, rubber, footwear, and mineral fuels. U.S. total imports of agricultural products from Indonesia totaled $3.4 billion in 2018. Leading categories include tropical oils, rubber and allied products, cocoa paste and cocoa butter, coffee and roasted and spices. According to the U.S. trade deficit, President Donald Trump once called an investigation into the trade imbalance between the U.S. and 16 countries, including Indonesia. Trump had promised to crack down on cheating foreign importers. Some parties said, seeing the development of bilateral trade between Indonesia and the United States, Trump's order to conduct an investigation into the possibility of trade fraud is actually nothing to worry about. Trade balance deficit is a common thing. Besides that, the mechanism of comparative advantage is clearly can be seen in the relations between the two countries. So how about Iran as Indonesia's trading partner? Let's see the next data. This is paper and paper products exported from Indonesia to Iran. And as you can see, the volume of it from 2011 to 2014 is quite also fluctuative, and but trend-wise, it keeps on decreasing. This one is taken from the Ministry of Finance data. Indonesia was Iran's 30th biggest trading partner a few years ago. Iran's exports to Indonesia worth $73.93 million US. Indonesia was Iran's 9th export destination in the world. Indonesia exported 1,395 tons of commodities worth $1.94 million US to Iran, down by 78.55% and 78.08% in tonnage and value respectively year on year. Iran mainly imported coconut, paperboard, natural rubber, coffee and palm oil from Indonesia. So when it comes to trade balance, the heating up of US and Iran relations has caused world oil prices to fluctuate again. Analysts assess that this condition will certainly affect Indonesia as an oil importer and will worsen the trade balance while widening the trade balance deficit. Then, who are Iran's main trading partner? We can see it through the next data. As you can see from the data, China is Iran's main trade partner. And after China, we've got India, Turkey. Before Turkey, we have South Korea and then Turkey, Italy, Japan, France, and United Arab Emirates. And Iran had an estimated gross domestic product in 2017 of $447.7 billion US and a population of 80.6 million people, making Iran is one of Indonesia's potential trading partner. Iran's economy is characterized by the hydrocarbon sector, agriculture and services sectors, and a noticeable state presence in manufacturing and financial services. Iran ranks second in the world in natural gas reserves and fourth in proven crude oil reserves. Economic activity and government revenues still depend to a large extent on oil revenues and therefore remain volatile. And now, how about Indonesia's gesture towards the current conflict between US and Iran? This is taken from the website of kemlu.go.id. We're showing our deepest concern on the current conflict. We urge every party to refrain themselves for the sake of peace. And we truly believe that there is no win-win solution when it comes to war that involving countries. Instead of have win-win solution, we're going to have a lose-lose solution. And as it is mentioned, we urge every party to refrain themselves for the sake of peace. Stay tuned on Market Headlines because we'll be right back after the break.